Well, I basically got this small area of the wallpaper off. And you can see I only went down to about that line, blue line, because the wainscot's going to go lower than that. So I'm only going to prime and prep. I'm going to prime the whole thing. But I'm only going to prime and prep and mud up above. So I'm going to do, okay, I got to go from here all the way to there. And I got to do the doors and these doors too. Get the wallpaper off them. And then I can seal it. I'm going to seal all of the walls all the way down to the floor so that my glue will stick when I stick on my wainscot. Because I'm trying to be minimum nails so I don't have to fill a whole bunch of caulk holes. But yeah, I got from here to here, and that took about an hour. It's not coming off easily. And I've used the secret sauce, the what do you call it? Laundry soap, but not laundry soap. The softener, laundry softener. I mean, it comes off pretty easy, but it seems to pull the backing, like the drywall. See the gray pulls the backing off too, and that's from the guy that helped me. I guess you'd say helped me take off the wallpaper. He tore up the walls pretty bad when he took off the wallpaper. And he didn't cut it. He cut around all the outlets, and he didn't pull the paper off around the outlets. And there's a lot of spots where he just didn't take the paper off. So I had to first take off the wallpaper, and then now I'm cleaning it. So when it'll look like that all over the whole room, I'm gonna prime it, and I might even prime the ceiling before I paint it and caulk it. We'll see. All right, bye bye. So I wanted to make a small video on how I do these coats. So I got the wallpaper stripped off. So where you see the wallpaper stripped down to is the whiter part is going to be wainscot, so I didn't really strip down there. I did wipe it down, but I'm not stripping it. So what I've started doing is I mixed about 50-50 water to paint and about 10%, so it's really watery, 10% mud, plaster mud. And literally all you're doing is just taking it and putting it on the wall in even coats so that it looks even. So you go back, I'm going to go back and coat it all, double coat it. But it's going to be uneven for the most part. You can see the scratches where the cardboard is showing or the paper backing is showing. And the white where I did not strip off the backing of the wallpaper. And you can see the mud tape lines. But for the most part, if you coat it like that evenly, you'll have a sealed surface to be able to fill the nail holes, because there are many. They nailed up the drywall. They didn't, to be able to go back through. These will be sealed in. And then you can coat out the whole room. It'll be ready for one coat of plaster, and then sand the plaster down, coat it again with a thicker coat of this stuff. And what I like to do is 3 coats of this. So one, and then we're gonna do one more after I fill it, and then one more after that to give it a thicker texture. It'll come out similar to this texture. I don't know if the camera can focus. Similar to that. So I mean, from a distance it looks really flat, but when you get up close to it, it's got some nice texture to it. All right, well that's my starting of my finishing the walls. Should have it coated today and start filling it tomorrow. All right, bye-bye. Yes, it's just a mix of an old bucket of the plaster mud that was mostly all water, and then this other bucket that I used for this room, but it's mostly all plaster or paint. So I did 50-50 of these two plus about quite a bit more water. All right, bye-bye. Nice drill. Yeah, and I gotta strip the table, the doors too. Another small part of my tutorial. So I've got the room all in that paint, water, mud mix. So after you get it all in the first coat, you want to take some 220 sand paper or even less, and you're not going to press hard. You're just going to rub it, just so when you touch it, it feels slightly smooth, and just a real light sanding and fast. And you're not going to spend any time on any one spot. After you sand the entire room down, one coat, it'll be smooth to the touch. I mean, really smooth, baby smooth. It still looks like it has texture, but it doesn't. It's so smooth. Then you're gonna go around and fill all the nail holes. And I'll show you that step next. Okay. Short little tutorial. Yeah, and I mean, it does dust out a little bit, but there's not hardly any dust because you're not pushing hard. All right. That's the next step, is sand the room down. Well, I had used about half of this pan. It's rather small, not a very big pan, to fill the walls where all the holes were. And I might go back and refill some areas, but I'm not going to sand it. It doesn't get sanded this time because it's very thin, a very thin coat, and you just coat it again with the paint, water, plaster mix, and you sand that coat, a light sanding again, before you get to your final sanding. So, or your final coat. And the final coat you don't sand. And then you paint it. 2 coats, and it's done. Because it rolls out really fast. You can get it in the lower areas where I'm going to be putting wainscot. I didn't sand, and I'm not going to. And I didn't plaster because it's be covered by wainscot. So it's sealed. That's what I wanted to do with it. It's sealed and it's all mudded. That's it. Now it's ready for the next coat of, we gotta wait till this dries, but the next coat of paint, mud, water mix, and keep rocking and rolling. It's easy. It goes fast. And, you know, it's just more or less taking the knife, wiping off. You can see it's yellow. Wiping off because there's still dust on the wall. You're just taking a tiny little bit. And any imperfection, like right there's kind of an imperfection, you just wipe it on and then wipe it off. So it looks like it's thicker than it actually is. It's actually paper thin. And there's nothing, I mean, I could sand it all down and it's not gonna, doesn't change anything. So after this, you'll see it'll turn out exactly like this room out here, where there is no imperfections. And this hasn't been painted yet. This only has 1 coat. So after another coat, I mean, maybe you can see it in the light, and it has no imperfections. Once it gets its final coat, I mean, it'll look similar to that. I don't know. The final coat texture is always different, so. Well, there it is. I still have to do this wall, but I painted it this morning, so I can't touch it until it dries. And once it dries, I can just do this mudding again and then paint the whole room. All right. Bye-bye. So I don't know if this will make the videos bigger or a better video on the side. So I got the upper crown in. I got the windows boxed in. And I got the lower trim on today. And I got this doorway done. And all the trim is in. And all the crown. It's different colors, but it doesn't matter. They're all the same size. Once it's painted, you won't notice. But I had a problem with what to do with this one. I didn't trim it. I'm just going to leave it blank because it's the same size as the crown at the top. So I think it'll tie in. It'll like blend, and it'll all be white. So I think it'll blend in with the rest of the room. I just didn't trim it. I didn't know how to trim up to the top. And it would be bigger than the crown, so that would look funny. So I just left it untrimmed, Japanese style. I'll caulk it in and then call it good. But that's it for today. I might throw up just a couple pieces of the, because get the wainscot started today, maybe. It's 5 o'clock, so I can't really leave. You can't leave when it's 5 in Japan because the traffic is atrocious, so. That's it. Alright, bye-bye. Well, I'm going to take 2 videos, the same video, just to see which way it looks better. I got it all trimmed in. Windows are trimmed, the crown is in. It's different colors, but that doesn't matter. Once it's painted, you won't notice. Yep, all the trim is in. All the doorways are done. And so on the back of these, I had to build them out because the wood is proud. Like, that's why I didn't trim this one, because I didn't know what to do once I hit the ceiling. But they're all proud. So I had to box in. So everything had to be boxed in before I installed it. So that wasn't very easy. And I had just enough wood to do this top. I had, so what is it, 8 pieces? And this is 8 pieces. And they're all different colors, but it'll look the same once it's all painted. So that's it. The second video of the same video, just to see which one looks better, and whatever one you're watching is the one that looked better. Alright, bye-bye. Well, it's 1 o'clock. I started at 9:30, and it's in the first layer of wainscot. It has this, I don't know if you can tell by the camera, picks it up, but it has like a lot of depth. It looks really like it's very, very deep. It has, I mean, this shows it off, I think, the best. It looks like it has a lot of depth, but if you look at it on the side view, it's not very deep at all. But it just gives the illusion that it's got a lot of depth. So I used 100 or so of these boards I cut. There's a couple scraps that they didn't look so nice, but when I went to the store and looked at this wood, about this size, a little bit taller than this, by about a foot taller, is $5 for one of these. So I put up over 100 in here. So this is over $500 worth of wood. There's a cut there that I started in the corners. There was a cut there, a cut there, a cut there, and that one is a full board. It just needs to be caulked. That's the corner started in the corner. There was a cut there, but that's also a full board. I didn't have to cut it, which is nice. So now I'm going to top it, and I haven't figured out how I'm going to top it yet, but it's going to try to look similar to the trim, the window trim or the door trim. All right, bye bye.